What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of On Display with your girl, Melissa Gorga. I'm so excited about today's episode. I have somebody really fun today. But before I tell you who it is, I wanted to let everyone know that I appreciate you guys all so much. And I know it's shopping season and it's time to get out there. So I'm giving all of my listeners, only you guys, a special 15% off at nvbymg.com. So use code On Display and it's only for you guys. So don't tell anyone. Love you guys and happy shopping. Okay, so I'm excited for my girl. She's a first timer On Display. She is the spunky newest housewife of New Jersey.
Almost.
I have the always funny and always gorgeous Jenn Fessler with me today.
Hi, Missy G.
Hi, I am so excited.
Wait, before we start, there's already something I'm annoyed with you about.
What?
You just offered only your listeners 15%. I don't get it. Do your guests not get that?
I mean, I will give that to you also. And you
Fair.
you get the friends and family all the time. You don't need the
Fair.
special day.
Yeah,
That's for my listeners because they're my peeps.
listeners.
That's for my listeners. What's up? You look beautiful. I heard we're both going to movie premieres tonight.
Yes.
Wait,
I am going to a movie called October Hate. And it's about October 7th, what happened in Israel and anti-Semitism all over the country. So yeah, Michael Rappaport will be there. You know, I just love that man. And Deborah Messing. It'll be good.
I love him too. He's amazing. He's a solid. I met him the first year I was on The Housewives. You know, he's always been a huge Jersey fan. Like he can read us like no other, like the back of his hand. And it's crazy. I mean, he's always just been so supportive, so awesome.
He's the
and
best.
I know.
Yeah,
I see how he's
super
supporting.
fan. Yeah, he's the best.
He's awesome. So you're going to have fun tonight. I am going to see, I think it's called Red One. It's like a Santa movie with The Rock, Dwayne Johnson,
How fun is that?
Yeah, I love a good Christmas movie.
I saw you online at Garden State Plaza, right under that Santa Claus right there at the top is like my absolute favorite. And you were like speaking to the masses.
Oh my God. Did you see this, Jenn Fessler?
What was that?
You would die if you were me. So I bring my kids with me, by the way, to that because it's a family thing.
Yeah.
I kind of knew what I was doing, but I didn't because I don't know. Have you ever gone to that before at the mall?
No, I didn't even know that existed.
Me neither. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm hosting they're going to light up their Santa. They're going to light up some Christmas lights. I got this, no big deal, whatever it is. And I get there and I see that the parking lots were barricaded off everywhere. And the guy's like, yeah, we had about 10,000 replies, like yeses. And I'm like, what?
Wait,
and it's
what?
Wait, a light show, a full stage, a microphone. And I am literally conducting the whole entire 2 hours of the show. And I was like, my kids and Joe just looked at me. I was like, oh, and they were like, yeah. I was like, so who's going to be on stage with me? They're like, just you. Like you will be
for 2 hours.
2 hours.
You guys didn't see this online. I went on and I was actually like, it would have been nice to have gotten an invite to this because all you see is like little tiny Melissa Gorga and then just like the masses.
The masses.
It was insane.
I think over like 8,000 people showed up. It was
fun.
Insane.
I love that.
You know what? It was very excited. You know who I got to meet also? David Archuleta. Do you remember him?
He won an Idol or something or The Voice, one of those.
He won American Idol and he had like a great song. Like you would know it if I started to sing it. He's got
you know who did you see, you probably know him already. I saw Constantine when we just went to the that benefit, the kidney benefit, the Jenn Geyser that honor Jenn Geyser, who's one of our execs, but I got to meet Constantine. I've been a big fan of his.
I know. He's awesome too. I've met him before because he lives very close to me. So I think his kids are going to go to the same high school as my kids. So he's around. He's definitely around. I've seen him around town.
Very nice guy.
Isn't it crazy? We're surrounded by American Idols here in Bergen County, New Jersey. But yeah, that was definitely a thing for me to like be on that stage. And I was proud of myself, honestly, when I was done, because I was like, woof, like I did that. Like, holy shit.
Maybe it was better that you didn't know how big it was going to be. Although you don't get stage fright anymore. This is all like old news for you.
No,
right?
but I think my kids almost felt it for me. My 2
Really?
boys looked at me, they're like, "You're gonna stand there and just talk?" And I was like, "Where's the teleprompter?" You know, because there's a whole script, and it was on a TV with a PowerPoint, but I shout out to
What did
Garden
you have
State
to
Plaza.
introduce? Just like, here's the tree, here's Rudolph, here's
No, it's like a
lights.
whole thing. I'm explaining everything, explaining how this thing came about, introducing the next guest, introducing the next dance show, introducing the mayor of Paramus, like the
That's so
whole thing.
fun.
It was fun. It was really nice. I had no idea. And I recommend anyone and their families next year to head out to that at the Garden State Mall. It was amazing. First of all,
Yeah,
that mall is
definitely.
massive in itself. It's like the biggest mall. It's insane.
It's
But
weird to like, I go there. I mean, it feels like home because I've been going there for so many years. And yeah, it is like this huge mall, but I could work that mall in 2 seconds. Be down in
yeah,
front of any of those stores. I know exactly where I am.
me too. And I'll tell you where to park, where's the closest
Yep,
store for the parking lot.
me
And
too.
one of my opening things, I kind of ad-libbed this that night, and then we'll wrap this up. But I was like, it's kind of crazy for me that I'm standing here hosting this today when I literally push my children around this mall since I'm 25 years old. And like
Right.
now it was pretty crazy. It was great. It was actually a really good night. So
Aw,
it was
they look
good.
great. They
But
look good.
anyway, Fessy, it's your first time on my podcast.
I know. I'm
So
breaking my, what is it? Popping my cherry. It's kind of
yeah, we're
disgusting, but
popping your
yes,
cherry, and I
I
feel like
know.
my fans have been asking for you. My
No,
listeners,
stop that.
they have. They are oh,
Really?
yes. Oh, yeah. My listeners are very serious about who they want on. They tell me who they want on. They tell me what they want me to talk about. They have an opinion, and I love it. So I
I
listen
love
to
that too.
them.
I love
And
that too.
you know us, we always have to listen to the Bravo gods, and we not necessarily allowed all the time to have the Jersey girls on the podcast.
Right. No, I've
But
been
right.
trying to get on here for quite some time. So yeah, I am thrilled. I've been begging Melissa listeners for years. She finally let me on.
Oh,
I guess it was
stop.
you guys. Not
Stop. We
really, not
weren't
really.
allowed. We weren't allowed. We're
I
on a
know.
pause in case anyone hasn't heard. We're
Ugh,
Jeez.
it's
We're on
so crazy. I mean, I get the question every time I do anything now. Like, I'm like, I know nothing. And by the way, I don't think that Bravo's going to tell us anything first because guess what? The reason we're on a pause is because everyone has such big mouths.
exactly.
So I like, you'll probably know before I do, listener or Bravo fan. I don't think they're
Yeah.
telling me jack.
I don't think they're going to tell us till the day where
I
actually there's a
know.
camera in
Right.
front of us. If there's ever a
Exactly.
camera in
If
front of
there's
us,
ever a camera. Yes.
but
Exactly. Yes.
now that we're on a pause, we're kind of allowed to do what we want. So in drops Messy Fessy,
Yeah,
everyone.
baby.
So listen, I know that it's been a minute and you've had the chance to explain how you feel, but my listeners haven't heard it. Give me just your feelings of obviously you used to watch the show, right? Before you came on.
Always. Of
Right.
course. Melissa, you and I have been friends for 14 years. You don't know it, but I know lots of stuff about you. I've been thinking about you. I've been thinking about Tonia, the kids.
Isn't
It's
that
like
crazy?
you, like all the other fans. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, you've been in my life a long time.
Yeah. And then what is it like when you just step foot onto a set with cameras and a mic and you're like, wait, 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 wait. I'm now part of this
It's so
show.
surreal. It's so utterly surreal. I mean, you started it. It was still brand new. Really, like, what
Oh,
they've been
yeah.
on,
See,
right.
yeah. Season
So,
three.
but, to watch, and it's not like I just watched Jersey, I watched them all. So, and you kind of think, I mean, at least I did as a viewer, like what I would say, what I would do in this, like, situation, or, you have your favorites and the ones that you love to hate, and, like, you picture yourself, so at least I did, sort of in it. But in a million years, I didn't think that that was actually to happen. I
Right.
didn't, you know, a lot of people say, oh, they wanted me, but because you get the call because you're on Facebook at the time it was Facebook and you're friends with people in Bergen County. And so I think a lot of times the casting directors will go around, and kind of like do their due diligence in Facebook and then message someone, would you ever be interested in this? So I had been messaged. Nobody ever asked me to be on it. So, and kind of was like, oh my God, that'd be so fun. And then no effing way. So I thought about it just like a drop. And then when Margaret and I became friends, like unbeknownst to me, she gave my name to this adorable girl, Jessica, who's a casting director. And she didn't even tell me. And I got like this phone call.
Oh, I didn't know
And
that she
then
gave your name to someone.
yeah, I mean,
I
we
don't
had
think
become
I knew
friends.
that.
Yeah, Margaret and I became friends because of my business. So she was like kind of mentoring me. Knew her through someone else, and she was so fabulous with me. And we just became friendly, and the four of us started going out to dinner, blah, blah, blah. And then I get this phone call, and all of a sudden I got another phone call, and then that turned into a Zoom call, which turned into all the execs coming over. Like it's a process. It's a
Are
pretty
you
long
like, "What
process.
is happening?" Like,
Yes.
what is my
Yes.
life right now?
What is happening? It's still like that. I am still like freaked out. Being with you here on display. Like I've been listening to On Display for a long time.
I
So
love
it's
it.
freaky. I know. I mean, I'm going on Jeff Lewis this week, and
Let me tell you, Jeff Lewis's show is so much fun,
I'm
and
excited.
a lot of people listen to that, a
Yeah.
lot. I
I know.
couldn't
Don't get
believe.
me all freaked out.
No,
Please.
it's great. I mean, listen, Jeff Lewis tends to ask the uncomfortable questions.
I
Like,
know.
I
I
know what
know.
could be uncomfortable for you, and I won't make you that uncomfortable
I
today.
appreciate that.
But Jeff doesn't give a shit,
I
girlfriend. He is
know.
going to put you right in the hot seat.
I know. I
Believe me
know.
that.
Still, but all that shit is still so surreal to me. I get like even like people will come up to me wherever. I don't know, I was in a restaurant the other day and this person was like so apologetic. I'm so sorry to bother you, but I'm like, you don't get it. Like I am so flattered that you just left your dinner table to come say hello to me. Like I'm in that phase where I cannot believe
Right.
that this stranger wants to say hello to my 56-year-old ass. It's
Oh, but you're
crazy.
funny, Jen. You're a little
Well,
star. You
yeah.
busted out
Well,
like a
not to get
little
carried away,
star.
but yeah, yeah.
What did
No,
you feel after you came on? And you really did, that first season you came on, you got a lot of love. I mean, first of all, you told the world that you banged Tony Soprano.
yeah, that was big. I
And the
did.
world loved that you kind of were just
They
ballsy
didn't all
enough.
love it. Not everybody loved it. People were very offended that I would have spoken about it, which
Oh,
I thought
that's
was like
right.
the
Because
weirdest thing. Only because
right.
like he wasn't married. Like he was single of a certain age. I was single. People do have sex. Like that happens. And my husband, that's like one of the things that Jeff Fessler's like so proud of, right? Like he married somebody who banged Tony Soprano. So like I thought it was going to be all fun and whatever. And meanwhile, people were like, how could you speak that way of him? He's not here to defend himself. I'm like, defend himself from what? From sleeping with me? Like, that's so sad.
Yeah, I think it's just a crazy, he was a major New Jersey,
I
like,
know.
so that
I
was huge.
know.
And I think besides for that, we won't just give it just the Tony Soprano aspect. You were
Thank you.
funny. You were a breath of fresh air that we needed so desperately.
Oh my God. I mean, it was, and we talked about this, Melissa, but like season 13 was fun. I mean, it was hard for you. It's always hard for you. You always have stuff. But
Always. It
like,
hasn't been fun in a while. Oof,
yeah. But I would think that 13 was more fun than 14.
for sure. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, not the
So,
end, but
so
yeah.
Yeah. So, but for me, right, I got to like sort of like I floated on in, I floated on out.
Yeah.
I got to like be funny. I got to bond with everyone. It was just, I had this whole thing going with Rachel that was like
Right.
so much fun. And it was just like easy. It's always something. I mean, of course, there's always some
There's
anxiety
always
attached to it, more for
right.
you at that point than me, but it really was. It was like, I just had fun. And yeah, season 14 was not quite like that.
Were you kind of bummed that and the truth is you kind of entered, and not just you, Rachel and Danielle as well, entered into the era of our show. I mean, obviously we've been a very successful show for many, many years, right? Over a decade.
Yeah.
And you guys entered in a time where it was just not great timing as far as what was going on, obviously, with the divide of the show and the
Right.
family and all of that. Was that a little bit bumming to you because you're like, what the hell? Like, I just got here and no one can even be in the same room.
Um, I don't really, I guess I don't really think of it like that. Like for me, still, I'm still in that, oh my God, I cannot believe that I just filmed 2 seasons of The Housewives of New Jersey. It's all still really novel for me. So I'm not more,
You were like, I don't give a shit who
I
doesn't
mean,
like
I
each
don't
other.
listen, I
I
didn't
don't give
want
a
it to
shit.
end. I didn't, second season would be like, the season of doom and gloom. And is it even going to come back? That wasn't, I wasn't thrilled about that. But no, I'm not like, it would have been nice if it had the momentum that it's had for 14 years. But
Right.
it is what it is, and I'm certainly, like I know you are, hopeful that it is going to come back in some form. I'm sure it's going to come back in some form.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I have no idea. You know, none of us really know the answers, and
Mm-mm.
I hate to even try to predict because then everyone's like, "Well, you said this was
I
going to
know.
happen and this
I
didn't."
know.
And so the truth is, let's just say the truth. We don't freaking know.
No.
They're not telling us because, people like to tell everyone else everything
Well,
about our
that's
show.
exactly why they wouldn't tell us at this point.
Right.
Nobody
So
can be trusted. So it is what it is.
exactly. But I am excited for what's to come, to be honest, with whatever it might be. I'm excited to move forward. Let's discuss something we all care about. What's on your feet? And no, I'm not talking about those super cute, but actually torture chamber shoes. I'm talking about Gtify shoes, the shoes your feet have literally been begging for. By the end of the day, we're all feeling a little broken down like a reunion special, which is why Gtify provides 2 free orthotics with every shoe and built in lateral stabilizer that realigns your body. Sick of feeling like your feet are taking more hits than a Watch What Happens live guest? Gtify's patented Verso Shock technology absorbs all the shock and stress so you don't have to. Guys, I have these at home and they are my absolute favorite shoes. I can wear them all day long and I'm so comfortable. And I'm running around all day. Whether you're power walking to brunch or making a dramatic exit, these shoes have your back and your feet. Who knew comfort could be this chic and shady? So if you're still walking around in those shoes that scream, "I'm suffering, honey," it's time for an upgrade. Use Melissa for $20 off orders of $100 or more at gdefy.com. That's Melissa for $20 off of orders $100 or more at gdefy.com. So was it challenging for you? And I feel like I know this answer, but I actually don't. I'm gonna let you answer it. But like, so you're tight with Margaret, right? You were
Yes.
tight with Margaret. Margaret gives your number to a producer, whatever it is. And then do you become real friendly with Jackie through the show or was that prior to?
No, I was not friendly with Jackie before the show. So I had met Jackie. I had gone to this charity event, this charity called Dress for Success, and Margaret invited me to it. And I have a shoe company, Shop F Major, but anyway, so I brought shoes with me. It's for women that are had been incarcerated, women that are coming out of all different kinds of very difficult situations, and how to get them ready for job interviews. And it's this fabulous charity. Anyway, so I was there with
Love that.
a bunch of shoes that I donated, and I met Jackie for the first time there, and she actually spoke at that event, and I thought she was amazing. She really was. She's an amazing public speaker. But that's the first time I met her. The second time I met her was after I had gotten cast, and Margaret and I were at Bloomingdale's, and I guess we put up some picture, and Jackie saw it, so she knew that we were there, and she texted Margaret, and all of a sudden, like, we met up, where it was all coincidental. But she was like in that place where she had just gotten demoted,
Right.
and I think she felt very territorial. So we laugh about it now because she was like not that thrilled to meet me at that
She
point.
was just like, "Oh, it's you? Are you
Uh-huh.
gonna take my
Right.
job?"
Now you're gonna take
Basically.
my best
Yeah.
friend and whatever. So, but we were, I mean, obviously like that we became friends. And listen, their shit, I have really out of it. And neither one of them really pressure me at this point. Like, don't be friends with her, don't be friends with her. So it doesn't, especially now that the show isn't filming, it doesn't really affect me.
Right. I mean, was there ever a part on season 14 that you said to yourself, like, "I think I can fix them," or you knew that it was not gonna happen?
At the softball game, I remember talking to both of them. First of all, I was shocked that it lasted, right? You were too, I think. Like, I couldn't believe that this wasn't going to be just a blip.
Me too. I have to say, I originally thought, all right, these two are gonna have a little fight because I could tell Jackie was starting to get annoyed. And I can also tell that Margaret was starting to get annoyed. So I was like, they need to just have it out, have a
Right.
moment, and like keep it moving.
Right.
But I think it got longer when she started to drag like her hanging out with Teresa and being weird about that. Like all of that weirdness is what brought it to like, okay, this is not two friends fighting. This seems
Right.
like something different now,
Well, and they've said this, so I can say this, but like even before cameras went up, they were not in a great place.
Right.
So,
1000% they were not.
right. So, and I think before we actually literally started filming, though, I remember they had this dinner and everything was fine and they'd resolved everything and everything was cool going in. And then obviously it fell apart.
Right. And then here we are today.
Yeah, and here we are today.
So now you have a podcast. You
I do.
do Just Jen. Do you still do? So you have the podcast with Jackie as well, and you
Yes.
have both podcasts now. How does that go?
Okay, so we have two Jersey Jays. When Jackie first announced that she was going to do a little spinoff, so Just Jackie, everybody was like, everybody, whatever. The people that listen were like, oh, what happened? Jen and Jackie had a blowout.
Myself included.
Yes, everybody did. You're not alone, but it was nothing that dramatic. Jackie had stuff that she wanted to talk about that she is more in tune to. I think she wanted to focus on a lot to do with eating disorders. And so I guess, so iHeart said, okay, do 6 on your own. But I have to say, like, we have a great thing going. Like, we get on our podcast, we have very easy conversation. It flows. We have fun. But I only have done one so far. It's a very different thing to do it alone. And right. And it's like, well, so I had this first one. I had West Wilson come.
Yeah. So I was just going to ask you who you chose for your first guest.
Yeah.
You and Wes have like a great rapport. How did you meet him? Where is this like love coming from? Talk to me about this. And I also want to hear it. It is a lot different when you're on your own, right? On a podcast, you are in charge and you have to be like, you have to move the show along, and it's not easy.
It isn't. I mean, listen, I think it's hard both ways. Like, when you have a co-host, your timing, you have to make sure your timing is right. You're not talking over each other.
Right.
You're allowing each other to,
have a moment.
Say what they want. Right. Exactly. It was actually not hard with West. It was different. But I met West at a watch party in Los Angeles.
Oh yeah, Bravo. Yes.
Yeah, a Bravo watch party. So they brought in me, they brought in Lisa Milan, and they brought in West to surprise this. Like, it was a bar, and there were all these fans there to surprise the fans. I didn't know West. I didn't even really watch the show. I'd watch a couple episodes. So we're in the back of this bar, and first, Lisa walks in, and she's Lisa Milan. So, like, you just can't help but like drool, right? It's like,
oh yeah, she was just on my show. She was on display a couple weeks ago. I was like, she was decked out. Like, I had my hair in a ponytail with like, I think a sweatshirt on.
Right.
And she was like looking like she was about to go to like the Grammys. And I was like, Jesus, look, look at me.
I mean, she is not even human. I don't know what you just stare at her like, what is happening here? Beautiful, and couldn't have been any sweeter. So whatever, we're all hanging out, and then West walks in, and he walks in with like his posse. And I said to him on my podcast, I'm like, it was like a golden retriever puppy, just like bounded in. Okay. Like, he's like all, like his hair is in his face, and he's kind of sweaty, and he's just and he's like so sweet, and he's like, hi. And there's just like this
and
thing.
Fessler's like, I'm going to eat him right up.
Yes. Well, I mean, Jeff Fessler was next. Best friend. So not
he
in the
doesn't
sense
care
like,
though. Jeff is just too cool
no,
for
he
school.
doesn't care because,
like, I have watched you with him and the things that you'll tell stories about your past. I'm always amused by Jeff Fessler and his coolness. He's so cool.
Listen, we have been through it. Like, and neither one of us, we're not going anywhere. We got no interest. I've been there, done that. I'm good. And he's 29 years old. So there's that. But he that night was on fire. Actually, he was saying in my podcast that Lisa Milan said that he was hitting on her. He's like, I wasn't hitting on her. I was hitting on you. Which I thought was like so funny. I mean, I was probably hitting on Lisa Milan. Who wouldn't? But anyway, so we started shooting the shit. We were both drunk, and I don't know what happened. We're just laughing. He was so adorable. Like, he got this sweet energy about him. And then whatever, we stayed in touch. He, whatever, love you. Oh my God, that was so fun. And I asked him to come on, obviously, but it's so funny. It was so much fun interviewing him because he is such an interesting, I want to say kid, but okay, I don't want to be like patronizing, but like, he's like a kid to me. He's 29, but he's that guy that, like, he was born with the sun just shining on his head. Like, this kid was born to, his mom is an OBGYN and his dad is a cowboy. Okay. They're both.
That's, I could see that actually.
Okay? Yes. I mean, what is that? And they're both gorgeous and fabulous. And he has this great brother. And his whole life.
Where does he live? Where does he live?
He did live in, I want to say something like somewhere in the Midwest. Don't ask me. I
Oh,
don't remember.
okay. In the Midwest. Okay.
Yeah, but he so he like grew up and he was like, a football player and then got like played for like a D1 college.
Oh, nice.
And at the D1 college, we're talking about how he wasn't a frat boy, but at his particular college, the really cool guys were the athletes. So like all the girls wanted to be around the athletes, not the frat boys. And then he graduates and he gets this super cool job in, I don't know, some sports thing. I didn't even know whatever that is. And he starts spending too much on his corporate credit card, so he gets fired, but they give him 6 months severance. So mainly he's like, I'm like, you would think that they would have just fired you with nothing. And while he's got the severance, he's out at a bar and he meets Lindsay Hubbard. Like it just everything comes so
And
easy for
that's
this kid.
literally just how he lands on
Yes.
Summer House. Like that's
Yes. And he's just
crazy.
like, do 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 do. He's like walking around every day and like just good shit just keeps coming his way. Must have been like, Gandhi in another life or something. But yeah, and he's like that. He's like, we're talking about his love life, and like there was the whole thing that happened with the beautiful Sierra and all of that. But like,
Right. Yes, he
but he's
dated her for a
basically like,
minute.
yeah, and they broke up, whatever. But he's like, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. Like he's like, he doesn't mean it. He's just
Right.
West.
He's
He's like
just
just doing the
chilling.
best he
Yeah, and for
can.
anyone who doesn't know who we're talking about, he's one of the newest cast members on Summer House, right?
Right,
He's
right.
pretty new, West.
Yeah, like 2 years. I think he
Yes,
just did
on
his second
Bravo's Summer
season.
House, which is
Yes.
such a fun show. I actually love
Yes.
that show.
Yes. People do.
Um, I mean, were you always just speaking of Wes and how easy it was for him to kind of join? I feel like it was kind of the same for you. Were you always like the funny
Yeah.
girl, like in your
Yeah.
family? I know you have a sister. Like, were you
Sister.
always like
I
the
got yes.
funny, made everybody laugh?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, a lot of laughing at me. So like getting like the nickname Messy Fessy, like that's what always made people around me laugh because I've just always been a hot mess. Like
I'll
I'm the
vouch for
girl,
that.
oh my God. Like I'm the girl that like went to the high school reunion and I'm like walking in and I'm so excited and there's like a big
And you'll trip.
like there's like a pond, not a pond, it's like an indoor thing. And I like immediately slept and fall into that. Like I'm always just the mess. So funny in the sense that like, yes, people laughing, I guess, with me, but also like just at me. But yeah, I mean, that's I think like why I wanted to be on the show. Like people are like, and I talked to my shrink about it ad nauseum because the show's hard. You realize it's scary. Like, what
It's
am
a
I getting
huge
myself
commitment.
into? I mean, nobody knows that more than you. And scary, right? It becomes
Yes.
you're opening up your life. But I think I just always wanted to be like on stage and I love making people laugh. And I mean, I used to want to be an actress. I was a terrible actress, so whatever. But that was like what my big thing was. Like, I hope I can get on and like be myself and it'll make people laugh and it'll be funny and it'll be, you know what I mean? Like comic
Well,
relief.
it worked, Jen Fessler.
Well,
Everyone did
it
laugh.
worked for one season.
And listen, I enjoyed you too. You and I have fun together because I love,
Always.
you know me, like I love a cocktail too.
I
So I
know.
love anybody who cocktails with
I
me.
always said no one is a more fun than Melissa Gorga.
No,
You
I'm
are
the most fun.
the most fun.
You know
You are,
why?
you're just happy.
I am.
I have had in my past, not anymore, but where I could like turn the corner. Thank God I don't do that anymore and get nasty because there's nothing drunk.
There's nothing worse than a nasty drunk.
No,
I
there's not.
I I think that I'm just when I drink, I instantly get happy. Like I get
Yeah.
fun and bubbly and like I'm like a 12-year-old. Like I'm
Do you
hopping
ever do
around.
anything? I feel like I've never seen you like you don't wake up in the morning with like, holy shit, what did I do?
I mean, I've definitely had moments where like I'm out to dinner with some couples and maybe I feel like, what did I say? Like I might have crossed the
Right.
line or like, because I'm very opinionated. So when I'm drunk, I feel like I say it more. And so even if it's like good friends of ours and we're talking about marriage and I like tell her, well, no, or like I correct her a little too much or whatever it
Yeah.
is, I do
Yeah.
feel that when I wake up, I'm like,
Okay,
what
but
did I
that's nothing.
say?
Like I'm talking even in the years of watching the show, you see in Housewives so many women that they get wasted
Oh, yeah.
and yeah, and then they wake up the next morning like, fuck,
Fuck,
like the
no, I don't
cameras were
have,
on.
I
I
don't
don't think
think
you've ever
so.
done that.
No, I'm pretty controllable. Like I
Yeah.
got what I'm doing. I
Yeah.
get fun, I get excited. I don't really get
Yeah.
nasty. I just call you
Yeah.
out on everything, but in like a funny way, you know?
Yes, I agree. I
There
agree.
was one point I think the producers would prefer me not to drink. I can remember our producer Lauren sometimes, like a couple seasons ago, being like, "Don't give Melissa wine or a Cosmo because
Why?
she's just she's not going to have the conversation with any type of care in the world. She's
Right.
going to be like,
She'll be all fun and games. She won't actually
yes."
get down into it. Right. She won't get
Yes.
into the muck.
Yeah. She would be
Right.
like, literally, there's someone's going to say something to her, and she'd be like, "It's fine. Who
Right.
gives a shit about you anyway?" But yeah, no, I'm definitely a fun. And that's why when you came in, I was like, yes.
Yes.
Like, because I love Margaret. We have so much fun together. And she doesn't really need to cocktail. She
Right.
hangs all night.
Of
But like,
course.
it's more fun when someone's actually drunk next to you.
Well,
So
there isn't. Who does drink? I mean,
Dolores is not a huge
not a
drinker at all.
drinker.
If
She
you're
doesn't
lucky,
drink.
you'll get her to have one drink.
Rachel was never a drinker.
Rachel's not a big drinker.
I don't think I saw Danielle ever drunk, right? She maybe, I don't think
Danielle
her.
drinks, yes,
Does she
because I've
drink?
been doing like I did a couple appearances with her. I've seen her. That girl will have a drink. I feel like
Yeah.
you, her, and I are probably drink the most.
It's
I
funny
would
because
say.
she reached out to me recently and I saw her recently, like just a few days ago.
Oh, did you?
But
Where'd you see
even
her?
I saw her at actually after I had recorded with West, Jeff had some gala that he wanted me to go to with him in the city. And I'm like, but I'm in jeans. He didn't give a shit, whatever. And Danielle was there just coincidentally, like somebody who was involved
Oh,
in it. It was one of her high school friends. So I haven't seen her since we wrapped.
oh wow.
But what had happened before I saw her is that she had sent out a text to me. And she said, because I'm doing this thing with Page Six now. You know about it, whatever.
We're
We
gonna
talked
talk all
about it.
about that too
Okay.
today.
So it's this segment on Page Six. But anyway, Danielle had sent me that I wanted to go on Page Six. You're really, really good at it. So if you guys watched, I mean, Danielle and I never had a big blowout, but we weren't close. Last season I was more aligned with Jenn than Danielle. So we
Right.
never really had a chance to really bond. But I just thought that was, and the way we left it was okay. It wasn't great. And I don't know. I just really appreciated that. I actually said to her when I saw her, like that just meant a lot to me. First of all, not just that she said congratulations, but that she actually like took the time to watch. And then, it's like we're all these opportunities, there aren't endless opportunities. And I think that, everybody gets jealous. Everybody has that, right, in them. But it's sort of
Yes.
like how you control it, what you do with it, and can you still be happy for other people? And,
A
I just,
1000%.
yeah. And I mean, so that's what I do. I'm not particularly a jealous person, but certainly I get jealous like everybody else. It's just human. But like to be able to say, okay, also I'm a little jealous, but also I'm so happy for this person. And I just thought it was so nice of her and classy. And so when I saw her, I'm like, listen, I'm thinking that like if I have to do it again, I'm going to do it not quite the same way. Like I just felt like I never really gave us a chance, you know?
Right.
And so I don't know.
You didn't click with her from the beginning. You
We didn't,
didn't. And
we didn't. No,
you
we
guys
did.
didn't. And you would
Yeah.
both say it,
Yeah.
basically. I feel like it
Yeah.
wasn't just you. You guys would both say, like,
Yeah.
like not my cup of tea. And it was
Yes.
funny because I actually loved both of you.
Yeah.
And I remember telling each one of you, I think you guys would really like each other. You're both really funny, but in like a different
Right.
way. And like
Right.
you're a good time. Like, and so I'm glad that now, and I do think it was really nice that she reached out to you about Page
It's
Six. And that is
the time
something
she's
that
done it either. Yeah.
right,
She's done that
right.
before with stuff. And I do. It means a lot to me.
Yeah, she's done it with me as well, actually.
Yeah.
Like when she sees me do big things, she will text me and say, "Wow, you're killing it. You're doing awesome. Like I'm
Yeah.
proud of you." Like which I, as woman to woman,
Of
what this world
course.
is.
Of
You
course.
appreciate someone that can everyone's listen, envy is everywhere. It's okay to have envy, right? But how do you control it like you said, and how do you react when someone has something great? You compliment them
Yeah.
and you appreciate it with them. So that does
Right.
say a lot, I think, about a
Yeah.
person, you know. So
I was
hopefully
looking
there's
forward if we have
another
a
round
chance.
for you guys to
Who
reconnect.
who knows? Yeah, but yeah. I mean, again, we never had really big beef, but we just never, yeah, really clicked. We just never bonded. So
On Display with Melissa Gorga is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Hey guys, whether you love true crime, comedy, celebrity interviews, news, or even motivational speakers, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue, right? And guess what? Now you can call the shots on your auto insurance too. Enter the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. The Name Your Price tool puts you in charge of your auto insurance by working just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you a variety of coverages that fit within your budget, giving you options. Now, that's something you're going to want to press play on. It's easy to start a quote, and you'll be able to choose the best option for you fast. It's just one of the many ways you can save with Progressive Insurance. Quote today at progressive.com to try the Name Your Price tool for yourself and join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Hi, I'm Stassi Schroeder. On my podcast, I share candid updates from my personal life, chat with some of my best friends about what's going on in our lives, give commentary on the latest pop culture headlines, and sometimes deep dive into random topics I'm obsessed with, like human design. It's a bit all over the place, but that's how I like it. And you will too. Listen to my podcast, Stassi, wherever you get your podcasts.
How's your relationship right now with Rachel?
Fine. I mean, I've reached out a couple times, of course, just to see how she's doing during the pregnancy.
Right.
And lie and it's not, but we've had some fun together. We went to, what is it called? The big MTV, the VMAs.
Oh, the VMAs.
Yes. And so we were sitting next to each other and Dolores was there and we had a lot of laughs, and John, the three of us, Jeff wasn't there, took a car home and had a lot of laughs there. And I'm always rooting for them. You know, we're fine. It's not, I can't sit here and tell you that it, is what it was season 13. It's not, but that's okay. Things change.
Listen, relationships are like, they have their ups and downs. They have their points and their highs and lows, and you never know. But it's, at least you guys are in a space where if you see each other, you get along, you have a good time. It's not like an issue. So that's good.
Yeah. Oh, and I saw them out recently, actually, at Nellie's. You love that place.
I love Nellie's
the
pie.
Place.
The best.
I know. Me too. Right. So it's funny. So I'm there with a few friends of mine. So my friends leave before I do, and I get this text and it says, don't go through the main dining hall or dining area, whatever, because the food is there. Because they don't know that Rachel and I are now fine. Like in their mind, they remember that we were fighting.
Oh my God. So they were trying to make you guys avoid each other.
Yeah. So they're like, so they had seen them. And I guess they said hello to Rachel. And Rachel's like, oh my gosh, the only other person I know that. And they're like, oh yeah, Jenn. I guess they just left and they text me and I'm like, no, I want to go see them. Like, we're fine. We're all good. God. So I got to see them. I got to see the babies. I'm obsessed with those two girls.
Oh, they're so cute.
The cutest.
Yes. Oh my God. All right. So that's cute. That's good.
Things are fine. Things are good.
Can we talk about, I want to let the people know, what are you doing with Page 6 and like, how did this happen? Talk to me about that a little bit.
Thank you for asking, Miss Melissa. So Page 6, so this is going back to the first season, and I had gotten to know Evan and Danny from Page 6 because we were all in France at the same time and I always think I say that wrong. It's like one of those words that, you get nervous about, so you can't remember which way to say it. Is it Cannes, the Cannes Film Festival? Anyway, coincidentally, I was there with Jeff on vacation and they were there doing like working. And I guess maybe I saw they were there. They saw I was there on Instagram. We ended up hooking up. They ended up interviewing me. And it was my first interview with them, maybe. I don't remember exactly. But anyway, the rest of the day we spent together. Like we did this little interview and then we got on a boat and we went to this party and just fell madly in love. So I've been with them. I have a thing for those two men that,
they're
like
great.
If you watch them, it's so interesting because they're so brilliant at what they do, but they're the nicest two guys. Like they're never going to be, they don't throw shade. You know what I mean? It's not the kind of interview that you step into really nervously. Like they're not there to get you. Right.
So it's a podcast.
So it's a podcast. So it's a segment. So if you,
isn't it called virtual reality?
Yes. Virtual reality. So on this, it's called housewife hot takes.
Okay.
And which
And
is
you're the housewife
ironic, of
with the
course,
hot
since I'm a
takes.
friend of a housewife, but whatever. So when it was proposed, it was like, okay, we're going to come on, you're going to come on and we're just going to talk pop culture. They think I'm funny and I think they're funny and we have this great rapport. So like if you go on to page 6, every week there's a new segment. And the best part, we do not talk housewives. So it's like, we're just talking about pop culture, what's going on at the moment, what's going on with Taylor and Travis. It's really, really fun. And they make it so easy. And it's great. It's like, I feel like it's my niche. I don't know, who knows what's going to happen in the future, but I am somebody who can sit around and shoot the shit and like, especially with them and laugh about stuff. And, we there and it's really, really fun. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. So that's been going on.
Don't
Yeah.
you
And then I
love
got
that
this.
it's about pop culture and not like,
Yes.
so you don't have to stress. You can just be
Yes.
yourself and talk about things that are fun.
Yes. Because you know what? I didn't want to go on there and I didn't want to talk about any housewives really. I mean, the little things come up here and there, but I just didn't want to get into like, bad mouthing housewives from any other franchise. There are
Right.
plenty of
Oh my
people out
God.
there to do that, right?
That makes BravoCon suck.
Yes, it does. And I mean, like, that's the thing is then you see these people, but there's so many podcasts, obviously, about Bravo, not just housewives. And so I'm going to say that hasn't already been said anyway, right? Like, I don't know. So I'm just glad to be able to have this, right? It's really fun. And like I always say this, I think people probably get sick of it. I don't know, but like I am 56 years old, like age 53. In a million years, would I have thought that at 56 years old, I'm going to be like hanging out at page 6 with Danny and Evan and even like having the podcast with Jackie and then having my own. This is not stuff that was on my trajectory at
I
all.
love this for
So
you,
it's
Jen
cool.
Fessler.
Yeah,
No,
it's
I
really
do.
fun.
Think about it. And it's
Thank
very
you,
like
Melissa.
enlightening to a lot of ladies that are in their 50s too. And like you feel like, oh, well, that ship probably sailed, but it doesn't
Yes.
it hasn't.
Listen, I will always say, and this is not, but like personally, when I watch Housewives, I just think that sometimes the older ones, again, I'm not throwing shade, they're beautiful, fabulous housewives. They're just interesting, right? There's just more.
They don't
had
give a
more.
shit. That's why they're ready to say it all. They're not
Yes.
worried about their little kids who are
Right.
like in 5th grade that are going to be embarrassed. Their kids are like in college or in high school.
Yeah.
And they are just like, and you can even vouch for this. And I can. I mean, I know I'm somewhere in the middle.
Right.
I'm not the youngest, right? And I'm not the oldest. I'm like the in-betweener. And I can vouch and say that like, even every year, I don't forget, I started this as a 31-year-old girl also.
I cannot even imagine that.
Yes, with 3 little babies. Joey was 2 months old.
So wait, that was Rachel was 31 too. I don't know she was 31.
Same.
Okay. So you guys were like the youngest ever or something.
Yeah.
I think.
So at the time when I joined, I was the youngest housewife to ever join Housewives, and it was really crazy because I had, and I will say from that time to now, oh my God, how you changed your mentality. I'm like, I don't give a shit if you like what I'm saying anymore or not. Like this is, it is what it is, where Jenn Fessler, the first 2 years I was on Housewives, I would go under the bed, literally as it was airing. I was like, make it stop. I mean, and let's not forget, it was crazy times for Joe and I during that. We were in the family war and I would go under the bed and I'm like, I can't even drive the kids to school or like go to the pickup line. I'm so embarrassed. Like
I had a teeny tiny little speck of that in this past season, right? I didn't get all love. And it definitely is very daunting. It took me a minute. And I guess like maybe like everything else in this world, maybe you do get used to it, but I can't imagine having to make sense of that as like a young person. Like when I was 31 years old, I was an insecure mess. I was like, all that mattered is what everybody else thought of me. I mean, you have to have very thick skin. I did not have that at 31. I mean, I look at Rachel and Danielle and like, it's a lot. And I mean, these are strong women, right? Now, I mean, it's funny just having gone through a little bit of it, but it definitely got easier. Like as the season went on, people said nasty things. I started to like, I really didn't give a shit. Like, you know, certain things stung more than others. But like if they would talk about, I got a lot of I look like a man. I got a lot of, I look like Caitlyn Jenner. Like that
What?
bothered me at the beginning. And then I was like, that's the least thing to bother me. Like, I don't give a shit. And it was more like she's a bad friend or,
Yeah, that's when they hurts more, when they're
yeah,
going on who your character and, like, who you
yes,
are as a person, and,
yes,
like, it does sting because 'cause you're just
yeah,
like, "What?" And you wanna tell Susie Q from
yes,
Idaho, like,
right.
"No, that's
Yeah.
not the case, and I'm an amazing person." But then after a while, you lose that, like, need to win,
Yes.
and you're just like, "You know what?
And it's
Watch
really
or
freeing.
don't, who like, whatever." You
Yes.
know?
Yeah. 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 It's
It's freeing,
freeing.
and
I
I get
mean,
what you're saying
yeah.
by the older ones definitely put it out on the line more, and they're a little bit more like, "Whatever," with it
Yeah.
all.
I mean, not always, but that's just like my observation, probably because I am older and I probably relate more
Of
to a
course.
certain age. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And I find a certain age more interesting because it's my life. It's what I'm living right now. So it all makes,
It
it's a
makes
little
sense.
bit, yeah, exactly. A little
Yeah,
more
and I
interesting
actually
to me.
thought we made it work with having all ages
We
because we
did.
had all ages. We had young, middle, old, we had everything, and it
Agreed.
worked, right?
Agreed. Yeah,
I
it
feel like it
definitely
worked.
worked. That's what's so sad, right? Is that the three of us, so Danielle, Rachel, and I came in. I mean, it was season 13. You guys had been together, even, even though not everybody had been there as long as you, but you at this point were like a really cohesive group.
Right.
And taking these three people, these three women, I don't know how these casting directors and producers thought that that would work, but you're taking like a 31-year-old, Danielle was probably what, 35,
Yeah.
56. None of us knew. I mean, I had known Dolores and Margaret, had been friends with both of them, but I didn't, you and I had met, but nothing. And it just worked.
It just
Right?
worked.
And what a shame that it did, and now here we are.
So it did, but it didn't,
It
right? I
did,
mean,
but it didn't.
it did,
Yes.
but it did a little womp, womp,
It
womp.
worked until it didn't. Yes.
Well, I have faith that there'll be plenty more bright days again. Let's just say it that way because I did have fun. I have fun with you. I
I
have so
know
much fun with
I
you.
know. I know. And Melissa, like, it's so funny getting to know, like, through this, but like, yes, of course, like we would film together, but then getting to actually be friends, to go to your house for Christmas, to meet that family of yours, I die for them.
Are you coming back? That was going to be my final question. I just love to tell you
Melissa,
this. So my
really?
final question is, are you going to come back? I'd love to invite you back to my house for Christmas Eve this year.
That you can just absolutely, Jenn, the Fesslers accept. Check mark. You
Yes.
guys, I can't even tell you. I mean, you see some of it on TV, how wonderful this family is. When I say wonderful, they're wonderful together, but they are the most warm and welcoming group of people. Your mother, your sisters, Nick, they're every single person there, your friends. Like, I don't
Thank
know.
you.
It's the most amazing thing. It's easy. Everybody's just happy and fun and loving and warm. And that's not always easy to pull off, my Melissa. It's
I
not always
know.
easy to pull off people feel like that, especially
A
people that are
lot of
not.
people say that. They just say that I
Yeah,
have a really good group around me. And
you do.
I'll take a little credit for it. I can't take credit fully for my family. They are just amazing people and they're very
Yeah,
warm
but you
and
pick your
well,
friends.
but I do pick my friends and I pick them very wisely. And
Yep.
I'm very good at weaning out the people that I just don't see work, you know?
Yeah.
So, and I will say it was so funny. I was with Tara, my Nick's sister,
Yeah,
my
of course.
cousin,
I love
who you
Tara.
know very well, and
Mhm.
she said something to me yesterday. She's like, "I've always kind of looked up to you because she is my younger cousin,
Yeah.
and tried to figure out how you've conducted you and your friends and your friend groups and choosing friends. Like whatever you've done, you've always done that right, and you've
Yeah.
meshed." And I just think
It's a very big compliment.
thank you. Thank you. And
It is.
we
I
loved
mean,
having you. You were so much fun. You got
I was so
tipsy.
happy. Oh my God, I was so happy. Yeah,
You
I feel
caused a
like that
little
also that was
family
part.
drama too. No, we
Yes. We're not talking.
won't talk about it, but it was
No.
fun. It was all fun.
But like I say that also, I feel like I'm very lucky in that I have a group of friends forever. I mean, whatever. I have different groups, friends from high school, friends from college, and friends from Upper Saddle River where I live. And I feel so lucky to have like specifically women in my life, right? Like you have. But the thing is now, and I don't know if you feel like this because of the show, whatever, I have so little patience. Like I don't want anyone around. That's what's so interesting about the show, right? When you're doing it, there are women in the room that don't like you that you don't like. That is
Right.
part of it, right?
Yep.
But so when I'm not on camera, I can't bear it. Like I don't want to be around anyone that I don't really like. My patience has worn very, very thin. And when you're filming with people, of course, it's a different thing, right?
Right.
But I don't know. I like to be in
Comfortable
everyone loves
situations.
everyone. Yes. Yeah.
You know, I'm done with like the awkward, like I don't do the fake it till I make it anymore, especially if anyone's going to be at my house on Christmas Eve or whatever it is. It needs to be like, and not just Christmas Eve, honestly, on all types of having friends over, whatever, dinners. Don't you just at this stage of life,
I
I've
want to
learned.
laugh.
Yes, I want to enjoy every second, or else I'm not going to do the fake like I need to do it just to do it, or we need to go to dinner just to go to dinner. Like
No.
I need to enjoy you. You need to bring something to me. You need to make me laugh. We need to have great conversation,
Right.
or else I don't see the reason anymore.
I'm with you, sister. Believe me. But like that's the thing about the show, though, is like it's the conflict, but then it's the resolution. So it's kind of nice because like people that you think I fucking hate her guts, never speaking to her again, you find yourself reconciling with, right? Which is, I don't know. And then there's another chapter that happens. But if I'm not being filmed, I don't want to reconcile. If it didn't work out, it didn't work out. I'm out.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No, it's a fact. But anyway, Jenn Fessler, thank you so much for coming on display.
Thank you
today.
for having me. Are you going to come on Just Jenn?
I would love to. Can I be
Okay.
a guest on just
Yes,
you only have
please.
6 people to choose. Am
I know. Well, here's the truth of it though. Yes, you can come on when I get more episodes, if I get more episodes.
Okay, good.
Yes, we're a little bit booked and I'm trying to avoid for these 6 housewives just because
I
it's
don't
so
blame you.
easy.
Yes.
So trying to bring on, I actually was like, maybe we'll bring on now because I'm also friendly with Carl from Summer House.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah.
He's
I'm
great.
like, but then everybody's, what are you just going to bring on all the men from Summer House? Like something's off there.
Yeah, you just vibe with men. I have
do.
to just tell you guys,
I
don't
can't
let
lie.
her fool you.
I think because I don't want to sound like obnoxious, but I'm funny. And I also
Yeah.
like make fun of people. And sometimes
They
that
get
is
a
what
kick
kind
out
of,
of you. They
that
get
is,
a kick out of
So
you
it's like
too.
more of, what's more than that. It's more of that really, because God knows, like, if you watch the show, you know, I've been through it with my husband. We are good. I am not
Oh,
interested.
you guys are awesome. No.
So
You
I'm not
guys
interested
and he
in,
loves
yes,
it. He gets a kick out of
does.
you're just like fun Jen, and he loves it.
Yeah.
So I'm here for all of it. Tell my listeners when they can listen and where they can listen to Just Jen.
You're the best,
day?
Melissa. So, days, it's every 2 weeks. So if you go on to 2 Jersey J's, which falls under the 2 T's in a Pod umbrella, but whatever, anywhere you get podcasts, if you put in 2 Jersey J's, it'll come up and you'll see Just Jackie and you'll see Just Jen. So I've done the one with West. I'm about to record one next week, but I'm going to keep, my guest a little bit under
Secret.
wraps.
Okay.
Yes.
Fine.
And then page 6, if you are so inclined, if you go on to page6.com, it's right under, there's like a section for reality. So like Danny and Evan have guests on all the time. I'm sure you've been on. And so they talk about stuff. They have guests on. They have housewives and Bravo celebrities and who they talk to about, you know, everything. But I've got this segment that airs every Friday in that section of page 6.
All right. Well, we're going to get a lot of Jenn Fessler coming up. So I'm very excited about that, Jen. Keep
Love
killing
you, Miss
it.
Melissa.
Keep
Thank you,
doing
honey.
She also has those Shop F Major shoes, guys. So if you want cute pair of shoes, she got really
You guys, I didn't ask her to do any of that. That's called a woman supporting a woman. I love you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Of course.
ShopFMajor.com.
I'll see you Christmas Eve and I'll have a Cosmo ready for you.
Woohoo. Bye, Melissa.
Love you. Ciao.
Love you, baby. Bye.
Pluto TV is a place for movie fans, like me.
And TV fans, like me.
They've got something for everyone, and it's free.
I love free, and I love Jersey Shore.
For me, it's The Godfather.
SpongeBob SquarePants, I am Patrick. Patrick is me.
Oh, Forrest Gump, come on.
Criminal Minds, solving crime after bedtime.
Whatever you love to watch, Pluto TV makes it easy with thousands of free movies and shows.
Pluto TV, stream now, pay never.
Hi, I'm Stassi Schroeder. On my podcast, I share candid updates from my personal life, chat with some of my best friends about what's going on in our lives, give commentary on the latest pop culture headlines, and sometimes deep dive into random topics I'm obsessed with, like human design. It's a bit all over the place, but that's how I like it. And you will too. Listen to my podcast, Stassi, wherever you get your podcasts.